know I'll talk to the parenting consultant involved fathers. I'll come back to you. If I ask you, Noor Chowdhury, you are a parenting consultant, also involved fathers. But many times, many times, we see fathers are absent from children's life. I mean, I'm not saying fully. They're busy with work, day and night. I know we need to work. But how much can you work? Can you work for 80 hours a week? No, of course not. Family is very important. A lot of time you can see mothers are taking the children to school, primary, secondary school, or whatever. Parents, yes, obviously some dads involved. So what are the issues? What are the problems? Why dads are not very, involving in children's life?
I think there's many layers of issues, and when you talk about any topic around parenting, about parent-child relations, there are several different factors. There's never one factor that is sufficient that kind of deals with addressing that issue. In terms of fathers and their involvement, naturally you have fathers who are busy, they're working and they're earning the bread and that kind of concept. Now a lot of the times what happens with fathers is, or parents generally, is we parent the way we were parented. And this is a cycle that continues.
Right.
And so older generations,
yes,
that their model of parenting was always that the father earns the bread and maybe he kind of sets the rules and then the mother does the rest of the work.
Yes.
And until we kind of pause, stop, reflect and realize, hang on a minute, this doesn't work anymore,
yes,
then we can start getting change. Now with fathers, as I said, the term involved fathers or absent fathers, absent fathers traditionally always meant fathers who were deceased, divorced, incarcerated. Today we have fathers who are physically present, but they're not present in any other way, meaning spiritually, emotionally, mentally, so they're absent. And a lot of these have many different issues because of that. The key thing for fathers in terms of their involvement is no one's expecting a father to give up work, but they need to look at the balance of, okay, how much work, like you said, how much work do you actually need to do? Are you working to live or are you living to work? This is the key part. And then when you are present, is to actually be present in your child's life. And I think some of the discussion before kind of talked about technology, but this is the bit that if I can touch upon very briefly, that is a very dangerous issue regarding technology. It's actually one of the key things that's destroying families and tearing families apart. Now, if we go back and learn the dangers of this, let's look at the ones who actually started and created this technology.
Right.
If you go back to Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft, in the 2007 interview, he says that when his daughter started to get an unhealthy addiction to gaming, he capped and he started to put caps on screen time, how much time they have in front of screens.
Right.
Then he even went further.
So he himself recommended that?
Yeah, he recommended, and then he banned any smartphones for children who are under 14 in his house. Now let's go one further and go to Steve Jobs, founder of Apple.
Yes.
In a 2011 interview with the New York Times, he says that they banned the iPad. He's the creator of the iPad.
Yes.
He bans the iPad in his house because it's too dangerous for children.
Wow.
So yeah, he's selling it, but we're consuming it, and we don't know. So if you go back to the one who created it, he knows actually how dangerous it is. So if we look at all of these things, technology has a massive impact, and it becomes a big barrier today. So when parents come home, or children come home, we're on our devices, and we're not communicating. The moment you can put devices away, having device-free times or phone-free times, having allocated where they walk in the house. An example, I know in our house, when we walk home after the kids come home from school, me, my wife, my son, those who have phones will put their phones away. And that's it, the time of night.
But can you create that kind of environment at home? You can. Because once you are busy with things, I mean, I'm going to ask you, both of you probably, because sometimes what happens, the children, they are so, I have seen in primary school children, they are so, they try to persuade parents or mom, said that, please, mom is busy cooking. And then mom has to do something. It's like a, what do you call it, indirect way, child minding, just give the mobile phone. Okay, you do something now, I'm busy with this. Can you see? Noor Chowdhury, you are working, and you have been working with dads and particularly parenting, you are consulting parents. I mean, in order to minimize the gap and this kind of communication, effectiveness of communication we want to improve on, what can you do? I mean, can you make some good suggestions what parents can do, what guardians can do, and also the children, how we can make them happier so that willingly they will take part in something rather than imposing on them?
It's a big topic to discuss. In fact, in the courses that I deliver, these are some of the key things that we cover in terms of building relationships. the foundation of anything with your child is, if you want them to do anything later in life, whether it's you want them in Islam, or whether in achieving certain things, or the values you want to instill in them, the foundation is relationship. If you don't have a strong relationship, a child won't build on that. And touching on the point, which a lot of the times is how we behave and how we interact. There's a concept in child psychology called the modeling theory, which is based on that a child imitates the actions of an adult. Yeah. So the concept that, we've heard action speaks louder than words, as opposed to some of the parenting we may have had before, where it was do as I say, not as I do. Because these children look at what you do, and really, they based on that, they kind of build their own actions on that. So if you want positive actions from them, then really you have to lead by example. But in terms of, I'll give you a quick snippet of some things that we did discuss regarding building of the relationship. Now, one of them is that for the communication is to have quality time. Every child, as you know, is you have multiple children. When you have one child, you can give a lot of time. When you have two, you have to divide yourself. And so every child, especially when they're younger, they yearn the attention, and even when they get older, really, it's just suppressed. They yearn the attention of their parents. I've got 6 children, so I have to, in terms of knowing that every single one of them, they want a piece of me. And the process that we do is, one of the things I encourage every parent, fathers more so than mothers, because mothers tend to be there, but both should do it, is setting a designated time where they spend alone time with the child. So for me, with my children, usually what happens every week, we have a set time where I spend alone time with one of my child, 3 hours. And in that time, this is an example, if you can give 1 hour, you give 1 hour. If you give 2, you can do. I give 3 hours. In that, I set a budget as well, and say, okay, you've got £30, now you can do whatever you like with me. This is what you have me for, 3 hours, do whatever you like. So then they might want to go out, they might want to, like I said, you might want to watch a film, or they might want to go to different places. And it's just that alone time you spend with them. Example is my daughter, she learned ice skating at school, and she wanted to go ice skating. So I went ice skating, never ice skated in my life. It was a very dangerous experience for me. I came back with a lot of pain, but I enjoyed it. It was a memory with my daughter, And in that time that you spend in the alone time, it shouldn't be the case of you projecting your opinions. It's non-judgmental. So you make it non-judgmental, and I even make it into a thing where it's almost like confession time. The rule is that you could say whatever you want and you won't get punished. Yeah. So if they've done something wrong, and a lot of the time children hide things, you create that atmosphere where you can say whatever it is. We'll discuss and try to understand, okay, why did this happen, and reason. But in terms of a punishment, generally speaking, it won't be 0. So they feel a safe space. So they know that every week, if they're worried, there's a safe space, I can now talk. This is because the barriers of communication is that a child does something wrong, and the first thing they think, oh no, I'm in trouble. Or what my parents going to say. Rather, they should be thinking, I need to call my dad, I need to call my mum. They'll know what to do. And we're going to create and foster that culture. So now, at home, because we've built that, the children now, when they make a mistake or say something, they come and tell me, oh, I did this. But before, they may cover things up.
Yes.
And that's what you want, just openness. Okay, that's fine, it's no problem.
So you as parents are responsible to create this environment and that culture so that your children will be very happy and free to talk to you about.
And they choose what they want to do with me.
Absolutely.
So it's open, so I've done a variety of things. And on top of that, I rotate it. So I have one, my eldest in the first week of the month, and the second one in the second week, and they rotate. So it kind of works out to be every 4 or 5 weeks. They'll have a long time with me, and they look forward to it. They plan, they think, okay, what can I do? And these are the kind of things. If you do that as a practical way, even if you can only give an hour, find an hour every week that you know you'll be free, and every week just give alone time. It means you and one child, not all of them. They want that one-to-one time. If you do that, that's where you build the relationship.
Excellent. Noor Chaudhry, you have a final say.
I think one of the things with especially parents with younger children you can do is, like I said, have this communication with them regarding their day, understanding how things are. And sometimes the difficult thing is asking questions and knowing what they're going to say. So you might ask them, how was school today? They'll say it was fine, it's okay, one-word answers. So actually on my website, which is involvefathers.com, there is an article there which gives you a set of 10 questions that you can actually ask your child. And I do this, and I use it every day, that it extrapolates more information about your child, and you get to know more about what's happening in their lives, and you're being more involved.
Thank you, Noor Chaudhry. Thank you, Razna Al-Faradi. Thank you, Ifat Chaudhry. Thank you, Mubin Reza Chaudhry, for coming and supporting this particular program. প্রিয় দর্শক, আমরা কথা বললাম, আমাদের টপিক ছিল প্যারেন্টস চিলড্রেন রিলেশনশিপস এন্ড কমিউনিকেশনস। অনেকগুলো বিষয় ডিসকাস করলাম। উই নিড টু ইমপ্রুভ আওয়ার রিলেশনশিপ উইদিন আওয়ারসেলভস আমাদের বাচ্চাদেরকে স্পেস দিতে হবে, বাচ্চারাও বুঝতে হবে, একসাথে চুজ করতে হবে। অনেক এগ্রিমেন্ট ডিসএগ্রিমেন্ট থাকতে পারে, বাট উই উড লাইক টু মেক এ বেটার অ্যান্ড বেটার রিলেশনশিপ অ্যামাংস্ট আওয়ারসেলভস। এই প্রত্যাশায় বিদায় নিচ্ছি। ভালো থাকবেন, সুন্দর থাকবেন। আসসালামু আলাইকুম, শুভরাত্রি।